There are 3 psychological mistakes that I see in every man who keeps restarting his diet, and none of them have anything to do with food. They're thinking errors, mindset patterns, and until someone names them directly, they're running in the background, secretly destroying your progress and making you start over. I've coached over 1,000 people over 15 years, and I see these patterns. The men who transform and the men who keep starting over, the difference always comes down to mindset and these 3 mistakes. Let's go through all 3. Mistake number 1 is all or nothing thinking. You go through the day, good workout, good breakfast, healthy lunch. You feel like you're locked in, and then this afternoon snack goes sideways. Maybe it was a bad call, a rough email that you had. Maybe you were just feeling a little bit bored, and something happens in that very moment. The day is shot. You might as well start over on Monday. If this sounds familiar, it's not weakness. It's a pattern running in the background called all or nothing thinking. And it's the most common reason that I see guys starting over from square one repeatedly. Here's the analogy I like to use. You're driving down the road. You get a flat tire. One flat tire. Would you get out and stab the other 3 tires? Of course not. That would be insane. You get out, you fix the flat, and you keep driving towards your destination. But this is exactly what all or nothing thinking is. One bad meal and the rest of the week is shot. You get one flat tire and sometimes you slash the rest of the month. The meal or snack that went sideways is just one flat tire. That's it, one flat. The rest of the day is perfectly drivable. So here's the shift. The next time you think the rest of the day is shot and you hear that voice telling you so, see it for what it is. It's just a flat tire. It's not reality. And the solution is simple. Get right back to your eating plan at the very next choice. That means make the next meal healthy. Or if it's late, then just go to bed. Start clean with breakfast the next day. Progress is not about perfect days. It's about how quickly you get back to the next right choice. One meal does not make or break anything. Your response to that off meal makes all the difference. Mistake number 2, avoiding the discomfort of change. Here's what this looks like. You feel the urge to snack, to reach for something, to soothe whatever just happened at work or with the kids. And instead of sitting with that discomfort, you snack your way through it. And here's the tricky part. It works. In the short term, it absolutely works. You feel better for a few minutes, but then that discomfort comes back, but now it has guilt, shame, the feeling like you failed yourself. It's much worse. It's temporary. Short-term soothing from food always comes with long-term depletion. Every time. What most people don't realize is that every time you reach for food as a way to soothe discomfort, you're creating a pattern. You're teaching your brain that this is how we handle this feeling. And the next time you have that feeling, the habit pulls harder. The trigger fires even more. You're not just eating a snack. You're voting for the old version of yourself. Those old patterns and behaviors that led you to where you are. But here's what changes when you lean into the discomfort instead of avoiding it. Every time you feel the urge to snack, you redirect. You go for a walk. You leave the kitchen. You take one breath in, one breath out. You do anything except for eat. You're doing 2 things at once. 1, you're breaking the old pattern. 2, you're installing a new one. Neurologically, you're literally rewiring. You're installing a new behavior, a new pattern. And it's a system that's built 1 rep at a time. You go to a restaurant and your autopilot reaches for a burger. Lean into the discomfort of running on autopilot. Instead, choose the fish and steamed vegetables. Make that old pattern feel foreign. And when you feel that mild friction of not getting the burger, recognize it as transformation. It is evidence of your transformation. When you want dessert, instead of getting your own dessert, share it and choose to have 3 bites. Fully enjoy each bite. Enjoy it mindfully and know that this is leaning into the discomfort and voting for who you want to become. And when you fully enjoy those 3 bites, here's the shift that really makes it work, is you're not saying no to a dessert. You're saying yes to you at your goals, your ideal weight, who you want to become. It is a vote for your future self. And those are very different things. So the discomfort of change is not the enemy. It's actually the signal. It's like the path lighting the way for you. And it means you're at the edge of those old patterns. And the only way through it is through. Mistake number 3, and this is the most subtle, but it might be the most important. Most men do not realize that it gets easier. They mistakenly think that the level of effort they're putting in for change right now is the level of effort they have to maintain forever. And that belief, that exhausting, demoralizing belief, is what keeps people stuck and makes them quit to where they never reach their goals. So let me tell you, it gets easier. Not immediately, but it does get easier. Think about your favorite professional athlete. You see them drain a long putt, make a basketball shot when the pressure is on, or hit a home run. All you see is these public victories. It looks effortless. It looks easy. You're not seeing the 10,000 hours behind the scenes that made that moment possible. You're just seeing the output, the wins. You're not seeing the reps behind the scenes. Habit is second nature. What feels hard right now is the practice. The home runs will come later. And here's what I mean by that. The more you cut out sugar and ultra-processed foods, the more you reset those dopamine receptors in the brain. You reset your palate for what it means to eat sweet and salty foods, and they become much easier to avoid. Once those taste buds recalibrate, those foods that used to feel like a reward start to feel a little bit off. The cravings that felt overwhelming get a lot quieter, not because you have more willpower, but because you've literally changed your biology and rewired your brain. You start eating when you're actually hungry, not for boredom, not for entertainment, not just because other people are eating. You're eating for a purpose and for fuel. And because your meals are balanced and you're avoiding those ultra-processed triggers, it's so much easier to go longer distances between meals. Those signals for hunger are so much more quiet, and you can easily cruise through and fast if you need to. You've become better at managing your intake and knowing when you need fuel and when you don't. Those choices that may feel like a battle right now begin to feel easy and automatic later. And it's just like a pro athlete running a play that they've ran 10,000 times. And here's the freedom on the other side of this that most people never get to see because they quit before they even get there. You stop thinking about food all the time, you gain mental freedom, and healthy choices just become who you are. The old patterns are going to feel foreign. You go to the restaurant and you choose the fish and steamed vegetables because it feels good and you know how you want to feel after the meal is over. It's just what you order, even if the people at the table are giving you a hard time. And the only way you get there is if you stay in the work long enough to make it automatic. So let's bring it all together. Mistake number 1, all or nothing thinking. One flat tire does not mean you stab the other 3. Get back to the next right choice right away. Mistake number 2, avoiding the discomfort of change. Lean in to the discomfort. It's actually lighting the path of the route you need to go. It's a signal that the rewiring is happening. Mistake number 3, not knowing that it all gets easier and automatic. Stay in the work long enough. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I can tell you that the men who transform are not the ones who don't struggle. They're the ones who understand these 3 patterns and refuse to let them run the show anymore. That's the work, and it's available to anyone who's willing to lean into that discomfort long enough. If this resonated with you, that's by design. It means you're on the journey. You're in the fire of transformation now. Hit subscribe. I put this psychology-first nutrition and fitness advice out every single week because I believe mindset is where the permanent change happens. Drop a comment below. Let me know which of these 3 mistakes you recognize most in yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.